In this video, we're going to be talking about Joao Pedro. We'll start off by profiling him as a player, then we'll analyze his skill set, and finally, we'll take a look at his ideal role in the starting 11 and the club that suits him best. Joao Pedro is a well-rounded attacker, a player who's balanced in every facet of his game. It's difficult to rate one side of his game higher than the others. So with this being said, we're going to be looking at every aspect of his game, and by the end of this video, we'll see what he's truly best at. First, let's take a look at his shooting mechanics, which is the foundation of his entire goal-scoring game. We see his arms, which is used to generate balance. We see his core, which is locked in and tight. We see his planted foot, which is pointed towards goal. His planted foot is level with the ball, not forward and not behind, and every crucial element is locked in and solid. However, there's one area I feel he needs improvement. His non-swinging arms tends to stay a little too far back. If these arms could be positioned slightly forward and locked in, it would enhance his mechanics. When you compare this to players like Palmer, Kylian Mbappe, Erling Haaland, and Mohamed Salah, you notice a slight difference. These players keep their non-swinging arms locked, either pointed towards the ground and close to their body, or locked with a sharp elbow. But with Joao Pedro, he tends to just let it fly. The speed of execution is that defining factor for Joao Pedro. Is that part of his game where you just can't look past? You know how every player has that one standout quality that can make them a top player in that skill set? For Joao Pedro, it's his speed of execution. He's that kind of player who doesn't need to shuffle to take a shot. He just has the perfect sense of timing, and he places his planted foot right beside the ball, and whoop, he lets it go. The best of goal scorers have this one thing in common. They know how to take the shot before defenders close in. And for Joao Pedro, he's that kind of a player. And when you can't close a player down in time, he punishes you. When we talk about the type of goals Joao Pedro can score, we can break it down into two key areas: his ability to create shots for himself and his ability to score from different ranges. Joao Pedro is a player who thrives in specific goal-scoring zones. He isn't the kind of player who will score bangers from midfield or long-range screamers. The farthest I've seen him score from is just outside the box, right at the edges. And when it comes to creating shots for himself, Joao Pedro is a player who can carry the ball, find edge and cut in to take a good shot. He links up well with his teammate and moves into dangerous position to finish decisively. He can create his own shooting angles with good dribbling and wonderful decision making. Now we can score from various scenarios, from penalties, headers, quick link-up play, a classic number 9 movement in the box, or finding spaces to explore chances, which we'll be talking about in the next section. Joao Pedro box movements highlight why he isn't a natural number 9. While he does have the key fundamentals like running in the opposite direction to the ball carrier, making timely movement when the cross is about to be hit, he doesn't focus on making runs to the far or the near post, holding up defenders and duels with centre-backs. Instead, he's constantly scanning for space to receive a direct pass. Joao Pedro game is all about finding the shortest, most efficient route to the ball carrier. One standout example is his goal against Manchester United. This unique approach makes him a valuable attacking asset. Finally, we're going to be talking about his finishing skill. This basically means his productivity, his goal-scoring numbers, and his consistency. It's all about his ability to convert chances and change random goal-scoring situations into high-quality chances. And Joao Pedro is really stacked. He's not a finished article yet though, because he still has some refinement to do, which we've pointed out already. He's already shown signs of being an elite goal-scorer. But he's not your typical number 9 though. He doesn't want to be that guy tussling with centre-backs. He'll rather have freedom to crash the box, find spaces and attack the ball in his own way. And when you combine this with his speed of execution, it all makes sense. His goal-scoring game is already elite, and with a little more refinement, he's going to be a nightmare for defense. When we talk about his dribbling and ball carrying game, Joao Pedro is honestly a beautiful player to watch. Now, he's not like your Morgan, Jude Bellingham, those central players who can just carry the ball, dribble, cut in, and cut out so effortlessly. These guys are incredibly difficult to stop. But Joao Pedro has the same grace in the way he carries the ball, the same beauty to watch. The way he plays is just enjoyable, and he carries himself in a similar manner to these players. It's his ability to change direction effortlessly, and the key is that he does it without losing balance, and that's where he catches the eye. His dribbling game is all about shoulder drops, fake shots, fake passes. He's always trying to sell defenders into his action before going the other way. And when it comes to his ball carrying, he's the kind of player who can pick up the ball from deep in his own half and drive it to the other side. He knows how to utilize spaces so well, even in tight spaces or under pressure. He's someone who only cares a little. Now, he doesn't do this consistently or repeatedly. If he finds himself in a situation where he needs to drive through a tight space, he will dare do it. Now he's got strength and power to his arms to push up defenders, and he's got a silky movement to dodge challenges and maneuver through difficult angles. Overall, a wonderful player in how he dribbles and how he carries the ball from one point to the other. He's not really blessed with enough trickery or footwork as a normal winger would have been, but he's someone who tries to bring in that more skills into his game, the way he turns and really just leave players for dead, and is a beautiful player to watch, honestly. Joao Pedro isn't far from the average Premier League centre-back in terms of height. Standing at 6 foot tall, he's capable of doing a whole lot of damage. And at that height, he's winning more than 50% of his aerial duels and is already contending for quite a lot in the air, and is a player who's really lethal. He doesn't just wait for scraps or hope opportunities comes to him, he actively attacks crosses pretty decently. His goal scoring technique is really good, unlike some forwards who just reach the ball and flick it aimlessly. And when you think about his potential, the door has to stay open because he's bound to do more damage in the future. Joao Pedro's link-up game contends to be the best and the most standout part of his skill set. It's a platform where he brings every aspect of his game to life. You're talking about a player who's well-rounded, able to do more than a bit of everything, but excels above average in all areas. He's not confined to one role or one area of the pitch. This freedom allows him to roam from flanks to flanks, drop deep or push high. He's capable of playing shots, mid-range and even long passes. Another key part of his link-up game is his ability to operate in tight spaces. He has this excellent ball control under pressure, able to receive the ball in different situations and still find a way to transition. Joao Pedro's link-up game is what makes him so reliable and influential across different phases of the game. It's not just a part of his skill set, it's the foundation of everything else he does so well. Joao Pedro isn't left behind when it comes to creating chances. His biggest weapon in this era is his through balls. He has an incredible ability to break down defenses with perfectly weighted through passes, especially in these half space areas just outside the edge of the box. What's fascinating about his chance creation is how he's approached the process. He's not instinctive like a typical creative number 10. Instead, he takes his time while making extra touches as he reads the situation and gathers live information. He's just assessing space, gaps and opportunities. He's waiting for the perfect moment to make the best decision, and most often than not, he does. This ability to pause and analyze, and while some might call it pauser, is central to his creative game. That being said, there are moments in tight spaces where he doesn't have the luxury of time and he can still execute quickly when needed, but outside of his true balls, the rest of his chance creation like crosses, cutbacks doesn't pose as much threat as this. His danger lies entirely in those deadly true passes. Everything we've discussed, I think it's clear where Joao Pedro fits in a decent formation. The famous 4-2-3-1 formation feels ideal for him, positioning him just behind the striker. Alternatively, a 4-4-2 setup works well, where he plays as a supporting striker alongside a proper number 9. The main striker pins down the centre-backs, allowing Joao Pedro to exploit spaces and roam around the box. This setup gives him freedom to attack the box without being tied up in constant physical duels with defenders. In essence, Joao Pedro thrives in the second striker role, where he can float between the midfield and attack and have the freedom to play to his strengths. Now, when it comes to finding the right club for Joao Pedro, we have to focus on where he'll be given the platform to shine. Based on everything we've talked about and look at the potential fit, Manchester City stands out. With a proper partnership behind a number 9, someone like Erling Haaland, Pedro could find the ideal balance between freedom and structure. When considering Premier League's option, you could see him working well as Spurs alongside a striker or a dynamic attacking setup. But even beyond this fixed supporting striker role or the number 10 role, Joao Pedro could still offer value on the wings. It's all about getting the best out of him, and a solid system is key to that.